Hey everyone, I'm Wa.
And I'm Chris, and welcome to Sweeties.
We're two longtime friends who discuss the riveting and sometimes trashy world of reality TV and television? No, reality TV and docuseries.
Yeah, even when you started the sentence, it was like, is this the first time she's saying it?
It's been a long
Um,
time.
yeah, I guess so. But we give you everything. We try and definitely give you a lot of saltiness, a lot of bitterness. I mean, obviously a lot of acidicness, a lot of all of that's happening. Don't worry, but hopefully at the end of the day, something mildly sweet. Um,
Hi. I mean, if you
hey.
guys if you guys watched our last two things and maybe one of them was only Patreon only, it was a lot of saltiness, you know.
Yeah, we got comments. We got comments.
Yeah.
They're like, you guys really can't stand when an ugly person wants to date someone above their league, and we're like, first of all, always a
Uh,
man. It'll always be a man, so you don't have to say someone. I mean, like, we can be gender specific here. In this moment, it is for me. Only, like, I don't mean to, yeah, yep.
yeah, it was funny. All right, so in this episode though, in case you were like mildly confused, we're talking about 90 Day Fiancé before the 90 days, season 6, episode 1, Moonstruck. I let me just Chris, Amanda, I'm gonna at some point feel she's unwatchable. At some point,
Hmm.
at some point she's gonna be unwatchable for me. I also have questions about tanning, but
Oh yeah, I have questions for you too about TikTok live streams. So don't worry, we both are going to come in with like our respective, perhaps a little like tutelage for our fellow friend who doesn't know,
yes.
but so okay, well obviously we're starting with Amanda and okay, so say that name.
Amanda and Rosvin.
Yeah, Amanda and Rosvin. Okay, so okay, there are definitely two stories in this two people's setup stories in this particular 90 day before the 90 days world that are incredibly sad,
Yeah.
tragic, sad, just where you're like, ooh, you're just like, what are my problems? Absolutely nothing, because like that's not happened to me, whatever. So Amanda's one of them. Let me set up Amanda for you. So Amanda is 31. She's living in Louisiana. Amanda has two children, a little boy and a little girl. The little girl's slightly older than her little boy. And she was married to, like really young to a guy, and they were married for what seems like a long time, even though they had like only two young kids. He's 45 when unfortunately this man started to have breathing issues, and when he went to the doctors they just weren't able to find cancer. And it's like, I feel like, I know it sounds so crazy. It's like, God, I just feel like I hear this story a lot for it being 2023, where someone's like, I feel weird. And the doctor's like, here's some tests. Weird. No, nothing there. And then it's like, just kidding. Stage 4, where it's like, only because it's like, Apple's coming out with some weird headphones where you can like see all the things and touch all the apps. And I'm just like, okay, but can we just get people into cancer chambers where they like, there's nothing that just like scan a person's body for like anything that just like looks suspect yet? That doesn't exist yet. I mean, I don't care about like the touchable screen of apps yet, Apple. I really want the cancer cryo chamber where someone just walks in, it's a scan, and it's like, nope. And they know for sure because of I don't know science and technology, but okay. So anyway, God bless this man. Haram
Yeah.
dies, and it comes out real fast, and it's horrible. And she like has these two young kids. She can't even tell the kids for like 3 days. And the way that we find out also this is that she just has his ashes maybe in a box and like pictures of him, and the kids want to like sleep with the dead daddy box in their rooms, my loves. And it's like that's all that backstory, which is informing everything and every desperate move that she's going to make, alongside what probably her sister calls her out as feeling someone who really has not had to ever live beyond certain identities. And without those identities, she is floundering in such a way that it's going to make crazy moves. I mean, her sister has her number. But sorry, you talk now.
Yeah. I mean, I have so many things to say to what you said. One, and listen, Chris, this is not a nice thing for me to say. Audience. Could they have not found a better picture of that man because he was hot? So the picture that's on that daddy box, I felt there could have been better choices too. She says that this is the only person she's ever been with. They've been together for 8 years, so maybe she was a late bloomer, not sure. Also, the thing you said about cancer and how you can't just go anywhere and like find out. I mean, we live in a world, in a country where depending on your pay scale, you get better treatment because you go to doctors who probably have more experience. Now, this is not all the time the truth. If you live in a major city, you have opportunities to go to really great doctors, but a lot of people don't. And wherever they were in Louisiana, there wasn't that. I actually happen to live very close to the Mayo Clinic. Not that I'm going to go there for any of my ailments. However, there are doctors that are close to me that are like world renowned or whatever. But it's just all about that. And another thing that was weird for me is that she's from Louisiana. She says, I live in Louisiana, but right now I'm spending time with my sister. And at first I didn't understand. I was like, why are you filming with your sister? What's going on? And then I realized that it's because she's leaving her children there so she could fly to Romania to meet this hot ass, fine ass man.
Okay. So yeah,
this man is fucking hot as fuck. And he likes her. And she has decided that after 8 months of knowing each other, 4 months of being together, and 5 times breaking up, that maybe if she goes there, he proposed to her and it'll be her happy ending. To me, she is a crazy person. She's actually in some kind of psychosis right now, or in some kind of like nexus of like craziness. And she doesn't know she's in the eye of the hurricane, because she has decided earlier this year her husband has died, and now she's going to go to Romania and meet a man because her kids need another figure in their lives, which personally I don't agree with. I think it's helpful for you, but I don't necessarily agree that a child can't be a whole person without necessarily being raised by 2 people, because one of those people could be crazy and it fucks up their whole life. So my experience. So what I'm saying is that I don't think that's true. So for her to say that is like, you are doing a disservice to yourself, and you are just doing a disservice to her children. And her sister is the only person who can say it. P.S. Her sister's blonde hair and blonde eyebrows are just, Chris, can you tell me what's going on?
Her sister's lived a life, honey, and it looks like she's past that life with what looks like a lot of wisdom. So what I'm trying to say is her sister has been in the muck, and that shows, but she seems to have an elevated sense of right now of a wisdom that I feel like speaks to someone who has gotten past some sins.
Yeah, it was like she's giving me 2008, but not a bad 2008.
She's giving 2008 because she was an addict in 2008.
Yeah, and the frosted eyeshadow, I think, like, wow.
Allegedly. Don't come at me.
Allegedly.
But
true.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's all that I was saying from there.
I need to ask you questions. Okay, so this is what happens in the story, and this is what I want to know. So, right, so she's like, look, I wasn't looking. I was not looking, but I was on TikTok. And you know that we have like a TikTok, I mean, like someone who spends a lot of time there. So that's Was. So she's like our resident pro. She's like, but this is what I want to say. And then we got to ask Wa questions. She's like, I know I was on TikTok. And we're like, yeah, we know what that means. And I was like, yeah, it's still like, we saw a stitch. No, but this bitch is like, no, I was in a friend's live stream watching her do games with someone else. Like it's a competition. He's funny in the games. So then what she does is she buys him something through TikTok, like a rose that is sent to him. And then whether he finds her or DMs her on TikTok or somehow finds her Instagram name and does that, that's also mildly confusing. Go ahead, what happened?
No, I just was like, I was gonna
so like, are you in that world? Are you going to live streams of?
No, I hate live streams. The only time I go to them is to hate watch them. So like sometimes when that guy who's a vampire, you know, I put him on Instagram. There's 2 guys who are vampires on TikTok, and I go in there just to hear what nonsense they're saying for maybe 3 minutes, and then after that I can't handle it anymore. When Bob the drag queen goes, they're just like, they're just answering the questions like, yes, no, I'm a real vampire. Yes, no, yeah. So what a vampire is that we like suck energy. You know, it may not be blood, but it could be. But we like take energy from people and then redo it or whatever. And I'm just like, and then they're all just like wearing red. I either have red hair or some kind of like red medieval and black leather situation on. One black man has like pointed teeth. I don't know if they're real. I don't know if he cosmetically. I mean, it's just like watching weirdos be weird. And at a certain point, I'm just like being mean. So I got to get out of it. There's Bob the drag queen I watch, and then there's somebody on there. Her name is like, she's like, it's like a guy, psychotic or something, and he portrays this character called Terry Joe, and that's very entertaining. Okay, now anyway, so yes, you can hit the heart like, and it like pops up, but then you can also like buy things for them that are not very much money, as she said, and then it all ends up going towards their like bottom line, so you can get paid from TikTok. Is what I'm trying to say. Also, note, this is one of the first times, or one of the only times, that I have actually ever heard anybody on this show name the actual app. Normally they say, I met them on social media, I met them on a dating website, I met them on an international dating website. They, to me, have never said, I met them on Facebook. I mean, maybe one time or two times, but it's very rare that somebody says where they met them. And yeah, he liked what she was putting down, and they started talking, and she's like, we're meant to be together. And I'm like, again, you're in like a nexus of crazy if you believe that this person from halfway around the world is meant to be with you. And like, listen, we all know what it's like to be, I mean, me know what it's like to be like pulled in by somebody from a foreign country who every morning you wake up to a good morning beautiful text, and every night you get a good night sweetheart text, and during the day they're constantly giving you attention. It happened to me. And I would have married that man had he not gotten scared. So I get it, but that doesn't mean like you have two kids. I didn't have two kids. I was like, fuck it, come get this green card. You know what I'm saying? That was my mind. If I had children,
ready, come and get it. Na 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 na.
Hey.
Okay, so yes. So that's how she met him. It's been happening. She gets jealous of him because he's hot as hell. He's really, really, really hot. He's in Romania, but he also like kind of speaks with like, some sort of like also Mediterranean accent, like, or some sort of like maybe my people. I'm not quite sure. It's all, I can't tell what accents are back there. Like that's how truly ignorant I am. I could be like, it sounded like, I'm like, anyway, he is truly, truly gorgeous. And there's a lot of footage of him, which looks like he does like, sort of like 365 DNI style movies, which is LOL.
And she's upset. But the thing that's crazy is that his name is Soy Razvan. So that leads me to believe that maybe he speaks Spanish. I just don't understand this person. I don't understand. Is that what, I mean, here's my ignorance. I don't know what Romanians look like. If they look like Andrei, I mean, he's Moldovan. Maybe that's close to Romania. Girl, I do not know what Romanians look like. Or to me, Romanians are like the travelers. We're not supposed to say the GYSPY. I didn't spell it right word. But like, to me, Romanians are also those folks, the Romani. But is he a Romani?
I don't know, but you should look him up on TikTok. I mean, that feels like, I'm surprised you haven't. So our next scene. Okay, good. So I'll tell you the next scene about, and then it's about spray tanning. So her and her sister, and we meet her sister, and her sister doesn't look like her, and she's a little bit older than her. As we said, her sister's name is Amber. I like Amber a lot. Amber like has a depth and a truth about her, as well as she know like what can Amber do, right? Like this is a grown ass woman, her little sister, who has just gone through the tragic tragedies of tragedies. And as Wa said, this woman is also in such a psychosis that she also is like using it in order to further her own objectives, which of course is to go and have the best sex of her life with Razvan from Romania. So, the sis is like, yeah, but the kids, but and I think the sis kind of also knows she's on TV. She's like, I wish my sister could just be like, hey, take my kids for a weekend while I go like have bomb ass sex. Yeah. Like I really need it, sis. I wish this was more of like, yeah, he's hot as hell. I wish that was more of it like, sis, please look at that. Please. Okay. I'm going to go. Please take my kids just for like a week. My husband died of cancer. Their dad, dead daddy box every night. Please let me go. And I need to just, please. And, that's one thing. But unfortunately, what Amanda's doing is like, I'm doing it for the kids, honey. And I really hope he steps up. And I hope that he's the kind of man that could be good for my kids, even though, yes, he's a starving actor that, yes, is making like porn, what looks like in Romania. Yeah, it's like, they're not showing like genitals. But at the same time, like, how much money is he getting for that? And, it's just like, it's crazy what she's doing. And yes, it feels kind of like a little, I don't know, it's a little bipolar-y. I'm not quite sure exactly what it feels like. I got to really get into my personality disorder so I can like astutely, at least
diagnose people.
For me, I want to diagnose people for me. I'm not a lawyer. Yeah. I'm not a psychiatrist. You do your own diagnoses. But anyway, what's the spray tan question?
My last thing is my two last things is, one, why didn't she take off her underwear? Because that difference between her booty and the rest of her was unacceptable.
On
especially
my
because,
only thought was on camera. Like I was crazy. A bunch of things is you okay
but you
when
could
you
ask them
get.
to leave to do the booty, because like even when you go on the beach, you wear a little thongy thong, you know, to have that not
She's on
happen.
camera. Has to be.
Oh,
Everyone gets sprayed completely naked.
okay,
Everyone gets sprayed completely naked. And then
okay,
after that, you have to dry off and put on something very loose. What you
okay,
don't put on is jean cutoffs and like a strappy, like what looked like bathing suit, tight bathing
okay.
suit onto another like tank top, which she wore after the spray tan made absolutely no sense to me either.
Yeah,
Like
okay,
I like did she think in my mind I was like this bitch she thought she was going to get like a tan from a bed, which then she could wear what she wanted to wear because she would have gone in naked and she could just. But I think that she was like, oh shit, a spray tan, it's on camera, I can't be, I don't know.
okay.
But I'm gonna tell you this also about Amanda. Amanda's beautiful. Amanda, I think, is beautiful. Now, Wah has her own feelings. I think Amanda's beautiful. Like I think that especially if she was given any sort of distinct I'm sorry, like if anyone with any sort of style and any sort of taste was given access to her and she wanted to like clean her up a little bit, I mean, without the makeup and stuff like that, she has a beautiful face and it has a youth about her, and she also loves was that me? Was that you?
Me.
She
She's
also
middle of the
loves
road.
she
Sorry, go ahead.
loves these like tight leggings with like three stripes around the thigh, but she's
Yeah.
skinny that she can pull it off.
Yeah,
Now my
I
favorite
think
part.
she's middle of the road. Oh, sorry.
No,
She's
get
middle of
it.
the road. Let me say it. She's middle of the road. One, two, um, like Catherine Zeta-Jones and like Charlize Theron. So that's where I'm at. Though to me, those women are beautiful. But that's not that's the only reason why I made the face. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just have it. I just like I'm like, you know.
Well, yeah, those people to me are like drop dead gorgeous. Like
Okay. Okay.
I think that most women I am not going to ever see those women in real life, but I think that
Okay.
I see
Okay.
beautiful women all the time on the streets that are not going to be like that. So that's I
Okay.
think
Okay.
like, those are like ridiculous situations. But let me say
Okay.
this. So basically, when she goes, she's going to leave the kids with the sister. She buys her kids these puzzle necklaces and she's like, "You have one and the other one has one." And the other one has one a piece that you could obviously tell that she already bought an extra one for this guy that she's like, "Look, he has one too and it fits on you." And now we're all a family. Like I like know how this bitch's mind worked. And her sister does too, because her sister says, okay, two things happen and it's the greatest. The last moments of this are the greatest moments. Let me go in order. So they're going to the airport and the young son is like, "When you go and you're with Razvan or whatever and it's nighttime, are you going to be sleeping in his bed?" I mean, that's a baby that knows. And she acts like, "How do you know that?" It's because he watches you every goddamn night be like, "Booby." Like that's what that kid is seeing. And so, yeah, he knows you're sleeping in the bed. And she's like, "How? No, I'll be sleeping on the couch." How does he know that? It's like, because you're not smart. And those kids, they're already catching up. So the last thing that happens is this, her sister says, "I hope she knows the difference between filling a void and what's real." Now we both know she doesn't.
Yeah.
That's that sister being like, she doesn't. Okay, I know that. I
Yeah.
hope, but we all know, but what can I do? And I'm
Yeah.
gonna also say, yes, that is what's happening, but she's not the only one, and I've definitely done that too. And it's a situation and it's a statement that you can almost start every morning with and every night with. Wah?
Yeah. I mean, the one thing that got me was that they had like the daddy box in the car, like in between, and I was like, You not ready. If you're carrying the daddy box everywhere, you are not ready. And also, I feel like she's low key setting up her kids for that too.
Yeah.
She's not honoring her husband and in the way that allows them to grieve naturally too. She's doing it in a very weird way. And that's why I say I'm going to get tired of her, because it's going to be hard to watch her be mad at him for making money and breaking up with him. Like he's not gonna
Yeah.
he's not gonna stop his hot ass life in Romania to go to Louisiana to help you take care of two kids that aren't his own. And he says that he's like, I want them to think of me as a friend. And when he said that, girlies, your things don't align. Anyways,
Going
We
from
got him.
yeah, move on. We absolutely do.
Yeah.
Going from one woman who I'm not going to be able to watch to from you to me, I don't think I'm going to be able to watch Jasmine, because the Gino and Jasmine that we get now, is a vapid Jasmine. It is a Jasmine at a 10. There's nothing, I think that when she first started, some people were like, "Oh, she has a vulnerability that makes her like not like Larissa." And now I'm like, "Oh, I hate her more than Larissa." I mean, I don't even hate Larissa. Like I
Yeah.
actually, I'm like, I don't hate Larissa, but it's like both these women have kids that we'll never see, by the way, ever, and they don't even care about them. It truly feels that way. But I will say this: Jasmine is unwatchable now for me. But okay, so I'm gonna let you kind of take this one.
Yeah, so Jasmine and Gino. So we start off with a series of like they showed it like 3 times at least of them doing his like photo of him outside to show it's him, and they like pull back and then they zoom from the bottom up to his face and he's smiling with that stupid hat on. But here's the good news. Gino has finally gotten a job and he is an automotive engineer or something. And I said whatever that title was made me go, so he works on cars? Or is he designing cars, or is he somewhere in the middle? Like what does he do? But I'm happy he has a job now so that he can give her the things. Now we start off with him with his old man reading glasses. I mean, I've never seen somebody who's not that old settle into oldness in the manner in which Gio has done. Maybe because he lost his hair and he just figured he was old at that point. But the truth is like, if he were to even try a little bit, we would have something. But this man is like in a hair shop, like, let me see that one. So that's real human hair. Okay, well, let me ask Jasmine. Okay, let me see a picture of her. And I think how much is it? $300. Well, how many do I need to get? 5. Well, that's a lot of money. And then we have Jasmine who responds with, "Don't give me no cheap shit. I need it all for my head. Buy it all for me right now." And he's like, and so then we have a scene of her and she
Wait, can I ask a
has,
question?
yeah.
Did you think when you first started, I was like, I thought the hair extensions were for him. I thought he
Yeah,
was
I
I thought
getting a
he was at his
toupee.
salon. Yeah, I thought he was at the salon with these two red-haired women, and they were gonna somehow construct a hairpiece from what happened. He
Yes.
was so happy, 100% human hair. And then when they said they needed 5 bundles, I was like, for him? And then I was like, oh shit, no, it's for Jasmine. So just that's all I wanted to add. That's the only part where I was like, and I'm not the only one. I
Yeah, you're
mean,
not. I did too. I totally forgot about that though. I forgot that that's what I felt. But it was it's definitely that's what I thought too. I thought they were gonna make him a cute little toupee because I see a girl on Instagram who does miracles. I mean, not Instagram, TikTok, who does miracles with men who need toupees. I'll send it to you so you can see it one time.
love that.
So yeah. So then, um, yeah. So then we cut to her and she has gone to the doctor's office. Now, the doctor that she's gone to get a vaginal like closing surgery so that Gino could actually come inside of her. And she starts to talk to him about the issues that she's having. And the doctor's like, I don't know why she would tell me this. I'm like, because you're a doctor and you're snipping up her vagina. You're that doctor. You're not like her regular practitioner. You are a doctor that goes and tightens up women's vaginas. So that's why she's telling you that her boyfriend has a hard time ejaculating in her. Now, it's kind of go ahead. It's kind of TMI, but go ahead.
It's so funny. The way in which Jasmine uses certain things that are so obvious to get him to to feel bad that he is indebted to her. And one way is that he obviously has ED, erectile dysfunction, but she doesn't want to be mean and call him out. What she wants to do is make it seem like he won't come inside her. He can't because of her, and it makes her feel bad so that he feels like he has to compensate. She does the same thing with later on with the fact that she feels like he destroyed her career and therefore has to now pay her for the rest of her, because she has no income because of what he did. Both things are something that she is using, and it's like, go ahead.
Yeah, you mean you're right, but I am like she got her claws into an American who happens to be cheap as fuck, and
Mm-hmm.
now she's trying to
Mm-hmm.
live with the consequences of it. And she's also on a show, so I mean, she really needs to take the Natalie route and just like sell herself to the highest bidder. Okay, So after that awkward conversation with the doctor, first of all, the doctor has confirmed that her vagina does not smell, and good for her. We move on to Gino, and he has pulled out the oldest laptop I have ever seen. And now, listen, I'm bougie because I have Mac laptop. So the truth is, I don't know what a Microsoft laptop. Well, no, I do. My work laptop is Microsoft, and it is definitely not as big and thick as Gino's. Gino's laptop is like my laptop from, which if I could find it, I'd show it to you. I mean, it is like a 20-pounder from, 2008. It really is a thick ass laptop. So he pulls it out, and I guess they Skype, and he's like, "Hi, Jasmine. I got new pants. Look at my pants." And he stands up and he shows us pants that are just so unremarkable. To a point where I'm just like, sit down. And she is like, "You need to give me a luxury." Apparently, she's been like hopping from apartment to apartment because he keeps telling her, "Oh, 30 days, 30 days, 30 days." Now he tells her now it's not 30 days.
I
And
can I ask a question? I don't understand why it's his. I don't understand exactly why it would be his fault that a visa hasn't gone through yet.
I don't know, but maybe she believes him. And so then
Unless,
she's making plans based on his things. Unless he should say, like, "I don't know when is going to come in, so you should just get an apartment."
see, the thing is, she actually, what she does is goes, well, it hasn't come in yet because he was so cheap, he would not get a lawyer to do it. So he did it by himself, and it was probably a mistake. He's so dumb. And therefore, I have to keep, I don't, God, it's like,
But there's a lot of people who would think the way she thinks, Chris. Like, I mean, if
I know.
you, yeah, I mean, like, if there was an opportunity to get a lawyer and somebody didn't want to get a lawyer because they were being cheap about something as heavy as like, and I'm sure a lot of people didn't get a lawyer who were on this show, but the option is available, and he chose not to, and so she's like, "Oh God." So we don't know what he's done to kind of fuck it up, but
Mm-hmm.
now her sister is living with her, so she needs a 2-bedroom apartment because her sister is with her now. And I'm like, what is your sister gonna do when you leave?
Mm-hmm.
What
Mm-hmm.
are you gonna expect Gino to pay for the apartment when you leave? I wonder. I mean, she leaves, and her sons are with her mother. Like, she just
Well,
is like,
we'll
I
never.
move on with my life. I
So
you know
basically, oh,
Oh,
go ahead.
okay, go
What
ahead.
is? I might have to leave soon, so I just wanted. We're at 30 minutes. We only talked about two couples. Okay,
Mhm,
so I
mhm.
guess I was trying to keep it going. But do you want to
Yeah,
keep
yeah, keep
talking about them?
No, 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 I haven't finished my sentence. You go, keep going, keep going. Go ahead.
Well, we haven't even talked about the Dane yet, babe.
Yeah, let's move on.
Okay,
Go
so
ahead. Say what you're
great.
gonna say.
So there's this person that she suddenly like, pretends that we're going to care about, which is like an ex of hers that happens to be rich. And the only reason why she isn't with him is because he's so delicate, like a prince. But somehow she has like sneakily tried to like live where he lives in whatever fancy apartment building he's living in that's obviously open to temporary housing, which isn't always great. Like most really nice condos are going to have someone who's just going to move in for a month unless you're Airbnb-ing it. Maybe that's whatever. But then she tries to make it seem like she's like going to flirt with this guy and eat dinner with him. Okay,
She
that's what I
says
think.
that she likes chaos and passion. So interesting, which who cares? And Dane is actually very handsome, and so she messed up when she fucked around and lost Dane because then she
Hmm.
got Gino. So, all right, let's move on to the next couple. Now we've got David and Sheila. They do the thing that they did in Love After Lockup with Camille, Heather, I don't know what her name was, and the guy Mike, Adam, I don't know what his name was, but anytime Matt Sharp has an opportunity to be with somebody who is deaf, they always want to let the audience know what it's like to be in the deaf person's shoes by like turning off all the sound. I'm gonna say this, and you can disagree with me if you want to. They showed a picture of David when he was like 19, and he was fucking hot.
I know. I
Okay,
know.
great. I was like, how can we get him back? What do we need to do in this man's face to get him back to his fighting age? Because he was hot.
Yeah, he really was. He looks like, and if you're in the TLC world, he looks like the really hot older, not the oldest son, but like one of the second or third older sons of Cody Brown, and I think that's probably Janelle's son. Like the hot one. You know what I'm talking about. He's 42, lives in Nebraska. It's a his family had him go to boarding school for deaf kids, which was great for him because he got to be like completely ensconced in a world of people that he could like connect and relate to at a very important time of his life. And then when he graduates, he realizes he has to like talk to other people, hearing people, and he knows ASL, but he doesn't read lips, So it's interesting how it does, the way in which he has to connect can be very difficult. And, it was really interesting.
Yeah. He's not old enough. He's our age or my age. He's my age. So to me, I'm like, oh, people during that time still sent their children away. Like I just felt like it was a more enlightened time, but I was wrong, obviously. And they did same thing with whatever her name was, Heather or Camille. Like your family just refuses to learn how to speak to you. It's so weird to me that like if I had a child who was deaf, I would learn how to sign because I want to talk to my child. Like they're just deaf. Like they're not, I don't know. They're
I mean,
able-bodied
some mommies
to
are
a certain
teaching their
extent.
babies sign language now just to talk to them, So yeah, it
Yeah,
just
and
depends what
it's
kind of
it's
mom you
so
are.
freaking helpful. It's so freaking helpful to have your kid at 1 or 2 be able to say more. It is very helpful. So it's just interesting that happened to him, and he's in a barcade, and Chris love a barcade. She puts in her notes. So he's looking for the love of his life. He was with somebody, and that person cheated on him, which is like so sad. And so now he met Sheila, and Sheila also has some hearing issues as well. She's in the Philippines, and he believes that that's the love of his life. And everybody's with this man. I've seen a lot of different posts on social media stating like this Sheila better not break his heart, protect David at all costs. And we will all want the best for him. And it's sad that he lives in a place where like people aren't as. I mean, I do love the bartender though. That bartender was like, "Hey, I'm going to talk to my customer," and I love that.
Me too. Me too.
I love it. Yeah, yeah.
Just one part is like when he's like talking to him, he's like smiling face, licking lips, and I'm gonna fucking lick the shit out of that one. Is what it meant.
Oh,
anyway.
Yeah. So let's move on. Oh, he's only sent $2,000 or $3,000, which is something that I liked. It wasn't a lot, and they were like, "Yeah, don't spend money on her, on Sheila, blah 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 blah." And I was like, "Well, $3,000 is not that much money for somebody who went through a typhoid.
He knows that
Typhoon?
she did. Yeah,
Yeah.
he knows that she did. God,
Yeah.
when those
So
scenes happen.
all right, let's move on to Riley and Violet. Riley gives me red flags. There's something about him that makes me believe that he is a terror to live with. I don't know why. I don't know what it is, but yeah. So he's 48. He lives in Pennsylvania. He's a black man. He's from New York City. He said he didn't have any friends. He wasn't very popular growing up, but he loves jazz music because he sees colors when he hears music, which is something that I wish that I had. There's like Kanye West is somebody who sees colors when they hear music. He said that he had 200 or 20,000 or some stupid large amount of albums, and I didn't believe him. Did you believe him?
I mean, it was convenient that they all burned in a fire, wasn't it?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
But he loves Elton John.
And he's like, "Oh, my obscure stuff is over here." And then he's like, "Yeah, it's Elton John." And they're like, "Oh, why do you have Elton John?" And he's like, "Because it's Elton John." And when he did that to the producer, I was like, "Oh, you're an asshole. You just fucking said this was obscure, and then you named Elton John. So they asked you a question about it because Elton John isn't obscure, you weird fuck."
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, can you feel the love tonight? I mean, he's been hurt a bunch.
Benny, I don't know. Anyways, yeah, he's definitely been hurt a lot. And he met Violet, and she's from Ho Chi Minh City, and she's 43. And he's like, "Wow, so I didn't know she was 43. At least she's age appropriate. I love that." What did you think?
Mm-hmm. She looks gorgeous. She's really pretty. I was also like, yeah, drop the plan, honey, like drop it. She's sassy, he likes the fact that she kind of makes jokes, and he says I get it like a second later, but really what they're like kind of sarcastic jokes, or whatever. Or if they're joking, it's kind of like she's like, is it that? Yeah, their whole thing is that he's like, I will never say I love you because I've been hurt so bad or whatever. Like he reads abandonment issues, whatever, but he won't say I love you. So what they do is they flip each other off instead, and they find it adorable.
Yeah, and we're just like, why?
What do you think about the scene with him and his sister though? Like I loved I yeah, at the Juneteenth celebration when the things fall and she's like the ancestors. I love that part.
Yeah, no, that was a really cute moment, and I felt like there's something very awkward about him. Like I feel like I don't know if this were my brother. I mean, this is not my brother. I'm just so grateful that my brother is normal.
What's normal?
I mean, I was gonna say that too. I don't know what normal is, but like he's just not weird, you know. And I don't know what to say. Like in the black community, saying somebody's weird is like an ultimate. It's kind of a diss, you know. Not kind of. It is a diss. It's like somebody's weird. You're like, nah, that nigga weird. So like, you know, I think Riley, while he doesn't try to be, there's something. It's like he's not comfortable with him, and that's what I feel from him is that there's
Yeah.
something about him that's like he's like, yeah, man, I love to have a cigar and listen to jazz, and I'm sure he does, but it feels weird. I don't know.
Like
It feels
put
like he
on.
might have, yeah, and not even put on. It feels like he might have a Pokemon collection and doesn't want to tell anybody about it. I don't know. I don't know.
I
Um,
agree. But yeah, I agree. I can see what you're saying, you know. Yeah.
yeah, and his sister doesn't like it, and I agree that because I don't know, his sister probably thinks that he's going to get his heart broken, but I am worried about Violet and his crazy behavior. I feel like he's going to go there, and we saw little snippets of it, so I think I might be right. But he's going to go there and just try to be all up in her business and like try to like own her before he's even like bought the cow. You know what I mean? Like it just feels like you know
Mm.
what I mean? Like she probably feels like, yes, I've been talking to you, but you haven't been here. You haven't come and seen me in 2 years, and now all of a sudden you're here and you want to know who's in my phone? No, no,
Has he given her money?
I don't know.
I want to yeah, they didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's move on to our final Coops Badoops. And we're gonna end with them. It's they also ended with their storyline, but it looks like there's a continuation. And this one also was a veer for the 90 day before the 90-day world, but it also lightly makes sense because we are still before the 90 days, and this story was bound to happen. And it almost like also pulls together another docu series from the aughts that 90 Day could also have like a bridge with. What am I talking about? Well, we're talking about Tyree and Carmela. We pick up with Tyree. He his thing, honey, is he picked up ukulele. Okay, he loves the ukulele. He lives in Modesto. He's 33. It's because he feels like people who play the ukulele are happy. They're happy people. And now, does he play the ukulele great? Absolutely not. He likes to improv songs. He definitely can't sing, but he looks to me like Jordan Peele's brother. Like he gives me Jordan Peele a lot, but obviously, God bless, a little softer, you know.
But also a little less rough in the face. Like Jordan Peele is, I love you, please hire me. Rough in the face. You know what I
Oh, I
mean?
find him so handsome.
Oh, I
I mean,
haven't
he's a
seen him in
married man, so
person.
I mean, not but I mean,
I haven't
I
seen him in
haven't seen. I
person.
mean, I haven't seen.
Yeah, and you've
I
seen him
actually
in
haven't seen him
person.
in person. I actually haven't seen him in person, maybe like since he's been married. So
Okay,
God
yeah.
bless. But
But
you
yeah,
know,
not that I don't think that he's handsome, but he just look like, there's like some acne scars. He's a little rough. Whereas I feel like maybe I'm wrong. Maybe not. Maybe it's that I don't like the fact that he doesn't have when he doesn't have facial hair. I don't like when he doesn't have facial hair. I'm gonna take all that back. I don't know what I'm talking about. Let me look up a picture of him and see what I think. Okay. Anyways, Tyree.
but now, yeah, you
This
got to see. I never do a back and forth. I got to see. I mean, I'll send it to
this
you like a
man,
FaceTime.
Tyree, he he's what I would refer to as jolly, and it feels very fake. It feels like he's a sad person on the inside. It's very obvious he quit his job so that he could take care of his mother who had a stroke, and he's apparently the only one of 4 or 5 siblings who did so. And they kind of hint that the siblings don't really do anything, and it's just kind of him, and he's doing like calisthenics PT work with his mother, exercises for physical therapy. And of course, his mother's like, he's the best. Well, yeah, because he's taking care of you. And he has a girlfriend that he's been keeping secret for 4 years, and she brings him so much joy. It is a woman named Carmela, and she's from the island somewhere, I think Barbados.
Mm-hmm.
And they have never video chatted in 4 years. And we know that that's fake. Now, but we do
Yeah.
see this man make food. He makes food and he makes dessert. I've never
Mhm.
seen anybody actually like literally make salmon and then make like a brownie on the side. I've never seen people make it. Like I know it happens. I know when you go to fast food places or you go to certain places, you always get dessert. But to just like whip up real quick a personal brownie.
Yeah. Well, it is like it was a brownie pan, it looked like, where like it wasn't cut into brownies. They weren't like small, like he did they eat it from like almost like it was like instead of a salad in the middle, it was a brownie in the middle. Which
Yeah.
I'm not I mean, listen, there are times in which you go to like a brunch or breakfast with someone and you both get something salty and you get also like something sweet in the middle, like you
Hmm.
drank the night before and this was a lot and there's
Hmm.
like 14 drinks in front of you. But anyway, off track. Let me just say this. Yeah, like I don't know about fish, but why are there bones in it? It feels like there shouldn't be bones in it. That was just all.
Sometimes
But
yeah, sometimes you get a fillet of salmon and you get the one with boneless. I mean, with bone, it's a little more expensive, so it depends on where he went. Yeah, black people eat fish that has bone in it, and then we eat bread on the side to like I don't know catch the bone, which doesn't make any fucking sense. But if you're black, you know what I'm talking about. It's like oh, eat bread on the side, and it's like a couple slices of white bread, wheat if you're woke, and you eat it with fried fish that has a little bone in it. So you just kind of have to chew it and be aware of the bones that are there and just like pull the bones out when you feel them, but also eat the bread with it so that it soaks it up. Girl, I do not know. It's one of the weirder points of being black. And it's one of the only weird points. Everything else is fabulous. So he does that. And I mean, I wanted to see the green beans had a little onion in it. I'm like, did he get it from the package? He probably did. But he cooks for his mother. And he says that he hasn't told his siblings about Carmela because he doesn't want them to shit on his parade. But it's a fake parade. He's like, I'm really pushing her to get her own business and blah 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 blah. I don't remember what he said that she did. But girl,
oh,
she ain't
hair.
real. Oh, hair.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
no.
yeah.
She's
She
like
ain't real.
27 also. That's another part. He's like, she doesn't work. She does hair, is going to school. I'm like, she's 27.
She's kids.
Yeah, like what? He one of the, he loves chocolate. He like, it's a comfort eating chocolate thing. This is another very sad story. Like his whole story is incredibly sad. His dad died, he was killed at 4, the mom, raised them all. Like of course she has this like stroke. All the kids what feels like abandoned her. She, I can't haram this man, like my heart feels for him so bad watching this, like I want this person to find love so bad. And so the end scene of this is obviously very sad.
Yeah.
Which is where the producers come in and they're like, hey, and we know that shit's gone down because like they're breaking the fourth wall. They're coming in. We're like, what the fuck's happening? And we know that things were smelly, like the fact that not just the salmon, but like the fact that she wouldn't video chat. But basically, they're like, we found some things. We want to like tell you, and we won't use this footage, but we can if you just tell us. Which that part was also like interesting that they showed that they have that consent or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And basically like, yeah, that's a man you were talking to. It's like, man, that person isn't real. And I had put early on in the notes of this is that she looks different in every picture, but that's she's obviously wearing different wigs, and there's like different filters, and I couldn't just tell. I'm like, is it what? But truly I was like, I think there's that. I swear to God, I want to go back and be like, those are not all the same women. No way.
I have to go back and look too because I didn't clock that at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he gets told the news. Well,
Yeah. I mean, but didn't we get a scene where he's with a friend and the friend tells him that she's a call girl or something like that?
so they keep okay. I'm so glad you talked about that because I was confused too. That scene to me was in the super teaser of what was going to happen. However, what we just found out was there is no woman. So, what I am guessing, and here's my 2 cents, is that what we do know is that he's going to go and try and confront whoever this man is. But while there, what if he meets someone?
Oh.
And the story continues, and that's how he can continue on.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is great. They've never given us anything like this, so I'm interested in this new plot twist. I'm interested for sure, for sure. All right, you guys. So thank you so much for joining us. We as always, I love a new season of 90 Day Fiancé, and before the 90 days is top tier. It truly, really is. I mean, it's what brought us Darcy and Jesse. And if anything, that is what we needed in our world. So if you guys want to follow our Patreon where we do Love in Paradise, you can do so by following us on patreon.com/docusweeties. It's $10 a month. It's a good time. So I'm going to be doing some exclusive content. Am I? No, I'm not. But we do the exclusive content. It's Love in
Did you
Paradise.
do a live last night?
No. Was I supposed to? Oh my god!
Remember how
You're right.
I couldn't do it?
I forgot. I 100,000% forgot, and I will do it tomorrow.
Okay, we'll have to
let
set
them
you.
know.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to send. Let me remind myself.
We
right
love
now.
you. We'll figure it out.
Chris will tell you about the other things.
So we also, of course, have social media. We are DocuSweeties on Instagram, DocuSweeties on TikTok, and DocuSweeties1 on Twitter. If you're in the Los Angeles area in June, I am doing my personal storytelling solo show, Lebanese Debutante, at the Hollywood Fringe. And there are a couple dates in June. You can look it up either through my Instagram at Chris L. Farah, or I even made one, Lebanese Debutante, at Lebanese Debutante on Instagram, which I had my first show last night. So it went really well, and I'm really happy about it. I would love you guys to see it, but don't worry, I'll be doing it again and again and hopefully touring. Other than that, thank you so much for listening to us and giving us 5 stars wherever you can. We have some fun things coming up that we will announce soon on the gram and on the Patreon, honey, but Patreon's going to get this now. Other than that, we'll see you later, okay?
Bye.
Bye.